because that is Harold Green. Come on over if you would. Harold Green, you're up next on Sports Talk. Here comes one of the all-time greats. Yeah.
Before Harold jumps on, if you can you check in, try to get your video feed working? I'm sure our listeners would love to be able to see you guys as opposed to Josh and I just staring at the camera. Yes.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't realize that it stopped on me there.
No problem.
Focused on Mr. Leggett, trying to understand. He's sort of that is not a PD accent that he has. That sounds almost like he's from Charleston or something. Let's see what Harold Green sounds like.
What we got? Let's do it.
He lives in Columbia now, though.
Oh, is really?
You.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you. It's great to see you.
Yes, sir. You
Congratulations,
too.
man.
Appreciate it.
Going into the South Carolina Football Hall of Fame. How's that feel to you?
It feels awesome. It's good to be recognized, and I'm very humbled and honored.
Man, I remember you coming out of high school down at Stratford.
Don't tell my age, Phil.
Stratford, Ray Stackley, right?
That's right.
I saw Coach Stackley at the Coaches Clinic back in February. He looks great. But you were following the George Rogers era at South Carolina, and you kind of stepped in and filled that gap. And what do you recall about your days at South Carolina and then moving on to the NFL?
Well, first of all, Coach Morrison lied to me, and I was told that I was going to be the next George Rogers. It was going to be Harold left, Harold right, Harold up the middle. And when I got to South Carolina my freshman year, they put on some Canadian football film. And I said, well, where's the running back? And he said, oh, don't worry about that. He's out, split out wide. And I said, well, that's not the I formation. I do know that. But
were
nonetheless,
they joking with you?
Yeah, we were. It was all in good fun.
Yeah.
But it was actually to Frank Sadler, who was offensive coordinator.
Okay, yeah.
Remember Frank?
Yeah.
So, but it was good times. Never missed a beat. I think that it was. Absolutely what I was told. I was going to be able to play immediately as a freshman, true freshman, and that usually was unheard of back then for a lot of guys to come in to college football, D1, and play. And of course, we weren't in the SEC at the time, so we played any and everybody.
Yeah, and you played on that carpet.
No. We had grass.
Did they?
Yeah, we had grass.
You had grass there?
Yeah.
Okay.
They got rid of the turf.
Okay.
Right around, I want to say, 83.
Okay.
The Sterling, I think, got there.
That's good for you. That's good for you.
It was great.
Yeah.
It was great. Williams-Brice, always, still to this day, the best stadium to play in the country. What
did you feel like under Coach Morrison in that offense, the things that you guys did with you? What worked for you? What clicked for you in that offense?
Well, obviously, I didn't know what to expect. I was told I was going to come in and contribute right away, which was important. At the same token, it didn't matter to me either way, whether it was the eye or the run and shoot or the pro style of an offense that we see today. We still see the West Coast. A lot of teams are getting acclimated to that. I don't care what conference, what division that you're playing in, but I felt like I could play, and the coaches felt the same way immediately.
Who were you teamed with in the backfield?
Anthony Smith was a senior. He got hurt his knee his junior year, redshirt senior year. And when he got hurt, Greg Welch came in the year before me,
right.
And then Greg hurt his knee. And unfortunately, they were back looking for another big back because they knew they were going to have a back that they needed to be able to stand in there and block, as well as run the football and catch. So those three things I thought I did very well, and it worked out.
So it was, let's see, you had Todd at quarterback.
Todd.
You had Sterling.
Ryan Bethea.
That team, those teams
they were
loaded.
Good.
They were loaded offensive teams.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, we contended. We gave Miami a scare for the national title in '87.
Yep.
We beat Clemson, which was a top, I think top 25 team, if you would, maybe higher than that. I'm pretty sure. So.
And y'all were on your way to a big season in. Was it 87, 88?
When 87, 88.
Todd got hurt?
Yeah. Todd got hurt his redshirt senior year, my junior year.
Yeah.
No, my senior year, his redshirt senior year. He got hurt his knee, and unfortunately, what a way to, well, it's not a way, but it's definitely a reminder, of just how good life is, how shortcomings come about, playing the game that we play so violent, and you just never know. You just always, coaches remind you play, like it's your last.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, it was something unpreventable for him that he got his knee hurt, because I think he would have went on to the pros and had a pretty good career.
And y'all would have gone on, I think, to have a great season.
Absolutely.
I want to say he got hurt against NC State, if I'm not mistaken. And I want to say in Raleigh. Weren't y'all playing in?
No, it was home.
It was home? Okay.
I recall it was home, but I don't know if it was. And I'm not sure, because I remember it was Coach Al Groh, I think, that came in as our coordinator, said that you guys aren't going to play much, because I think it may have been in Western Kentucky or East Carolina, somebody like that. Don't hold me to that.
Yeah,
but I think that may have been.
I can look it up in the record book. The run and shoot that you guys ran, I mean, such a fun offense in that day.
Sure. I mean, a lot of teams, you think about it, they didn't care to try to exploit those things. You need great receivers. Obviously, you need a great quarterback that can throw the ball, that can decipher secondaries. You got a lot of tools out there. We had some good receivers, and we had good running backs as well.
Yeah.
Not along myself, Kevin Jones. Greg was coming off of the knee, of course. Ken Watson came in the same year I did from Titusville, Florida.
Mm-hmm. When did Mike Dingle come?
Mike Dingle came a year after. And Mike still thinks somehow or another that I said, well, Mike, you chose the school. I said, and you're not wrong.
Yeah.
I said, just I'll get out of your way in a year's time. Just think of it
he
that way.
He thought he was going to come in and be the man.
No, I'm not going to say that. I think based on the body of work, he was a big back. He was explosive. He had great speed to be his size, and I just think he was like I felt. He wanted to stay close to home where his family could come see him play, and there was nothing wrong with it. And I told him, I said, man, you made a great choice. And we're going to work together, and we're going to be on a winning team, and we're going to do the best. We're going to help each other.
But was there a little rivalry there? I mean, you guys were rivals in high school.
I was the starter. Where was the rivalry at? I'm just teasing.
I know. I hear you.
That's my homeboy.
I hear you.
That's my homeboy.
Is Sterling presenting you tonight?
Yes.
So what was the relationship like with Sterling on the team?
Oh, man. It was always, actually pretty serious when it came to, X's and O's on the field. But off the field, I don't think we've ever had an argument in 30-plus years.
Yeah.
And that speaks volumes, I think, to who he is, and speaks volumes to the comfort level that I have and just knowing myself of having a friend that long.
Yeah.
So that's why he's my presenter. He can always say a whole lot of good things about me and be very forgetful about some bad things. But I don't think we ever had any. Obviously, we just get along, and he was one of the guys that kind of opened his arms and took me under the wings and said, hey, work out this way. We do things this way. Make sure you get your study hall hours in, along with quite a few other guys that we were all in the same dorm. So obviously he was our our watchdog, in a sense, but also, big brother.
You are in Columbia now?
Yes.
I'm
retired.
Done. Doing done. What did you do before you were done?
I was in the car business. Provo Motors is was a car business of myself and Sterling. And, we started it, actually talking about it in my basement at home after I'd finished. He said, we're going to do something together.
Yeah.
And we decided that, little did we think it was going to be, going into the car business, because neither one of us knew anything about it. But we had a good partner. We made a run at it for about 15 years.
Yeah.
And, we got our first dealership in Pittsburgh, McKeesport, Pittsburgh, in about 4 years. We started on Lady Street, which we were leasing a little office space, little room for cars from Ben Arnold. And it went well, for what it was worth. I guess I could stick a feather in our cap and say we were the first retailers on Lady Street. And now today it's flourishing as the Vista and doing very well, thriving.
I remember it well. So before we let you go, how satisfied are you with what you did in football from your young days through high school to South Carolina, capping it in the NFL. I mean, you reached the very top. You reached the pinnacle. Could you have seen that?
Oh, no, definitely not. My whole persona and objective was to get to South Carolina, get a good education. My family background's Air Force, so we were a military family that traveled every 2 years. And I wanted to get an education so I can stand on my own 2 feet, become independent, learn a great industry in business, possibly insurance, and play some hard-nosed football, which I think that was accomplished on that level. Little did I know that things would turn out favorable for me, and God's always been number one in my repertoire as far as going to my faith and believing in myself, and I just got surrounded with really some good coaches and some great players.
Fantastic. Last thing. You players now, who went through college the way you did, and you were treated the way you were treated. How do you view the new era of college sports now with complete free agency and pay for play?
I'm favorable for it. Okay. One reason, and I think I'm not going to quote, but I remember recalling hearing Steve Spurrier say he was for it, before he finally ended his coaching career. Quite a few other coaches stood in and said that, players should get paid, not to pay to play, but before the opportunities such as going to class and academically. I know the NCAA always vowed against, they're getting a good education. They're getting an education worth X amount of dollars, and they're getting free room and board and 3 square meals a day. Well, don't make it sound like we're in prison, but at the same token, they make billions of dollars off of the name and likeness of players in college. And I don't see any players griping and groaning about it to this day, professionally or collegiately. And high school players see what they have to look forward to. It's a little scary, I think, for coaches, obviously, and for programs because, it's now it's a pro league.
Yeah, and it's constant turnover. That's the thing I think the fans are worried about because they'd have a Harold Green one year, they wouldn't have him the next,
I can't look back, Chill, but it sure would have been nice to know that there was that type of opportunity.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Congratulations once again on your career.
Yes, sir.
Everything. You're such a great representative of USC in the football program.
Thank you very much, Phil.
And your family and everybody down at Berkeley.
And I appreciate you. I appreciate knowing you over these years.
I should say Stratford, right?
That's right.
Yeah. Thank you, brother. Appreciate it.